Man, the 40th anniversary of the Transformers is like going hardcore with Optimus Prime. Really, really hardcore. Like, we're getting a masterpiece figure for a version of Optimus that technically isn't Optimus. John Warden is coming back to the franchise after Power Rangers is taking a pause. And the original cartoon, the first 4 episodes, are actually going to be a part of the big screen. That, in addition to, if you're actually not going to tune into it, maybe you might be able to see it after the fact, looks like we're going to be having a Transformers-themed Masked Singer. Yeah, World of the Transformers is going crazy. And I'm going to talk about that and then some. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch. Links are in the description below. Okay, so right now, if you are tuning into the Masked Singer, you're probably noticing that the April 10th here at 8 o'clock is the Masked Singer, and it's going to have a Transformers-themed episode. And, well, my wife likes to watch the Masked Singer. I kind of tuned out after seeing a few episodes and what have you, but a Transformers themed episode, all right, kind of cool. We already have like Deep Wang as one of the judges, so obviously they're going to be theming this toward the live action films, so it doesn't impress me much, but I'll check it out. I'll see if it's any good. And they're using the Universal costumes from, Universal Studios to, for this whole Masked Singer thing. And again, we'll see where this goes. But the big news that everybody's been talking about quite a bit is that if you are a collector of Masterpiece Transformers, which unfortunately I did not, because for me, the scaling on them just doesn't match my collection. I'm more so into the War for Cybertron scaling and Siege scaling and Legacy and all that. But Masterpiece figures do try to go above and beyond in a lot of ways, and they are doing Jinrai and Super Jinrai, and the MPG, I don't know what that designation is, Masterpiece Generations or something, or Masterpiece Gatai or something, because I know that was something to do with the train bots that they did, but MP60, according to the translation of this report, is going to be the final Masterpiece figure in the line, and they're just going to move on with MPG. Now, I don't know if the scaling on MPG works with other, is just going to be in Masterpiece, or if it's going to work with, Studio Series or Legacy or what have you, but we'll see where this goes, because we don't necessarily know what the translation is. It looks awesome. Comes with all of the weapons. You notice that the Power Master works directly into his chest. I know it's God Master. If you're not familiar with, this version of Optimus Prime, Power Master Optimus Prime, in Japan, they actually made it this version of the figure, a separate character in Super God Master Force. They actually made it Jinrai, and I actually did a video on that, which you should definitely check out. But this new Masterpiece figure looks awesome. So they do have the Jinrai in human form in the armor, does transform into the engine block, doing the whole God on thing, or power on, as it would be the proper translation of that. The cab itself is just the robot that they're doing for the Masterpiece, and the trailer is sold separately through MPG and comes with all of the accessories and combines with him into Super Jinrai. Now, to my understanding, they will be doing an MPG that is God Bomber, which will combine with this Super Jinrai into God Jinrai, and that will be really cool. But again, I'm really curious about the scale. That is really where it boils down for me. For other people, they're like, I'm all about it. Masterpiece scale is what I collect, and that's what I want, and here is an awesome new version of that figure. And there it is in truck mode. The regular cab mode looks awesome. The base mode for the trailer looks cool. It's all the things that you would expect out of this figure. If it's going to just scale with Masterpiece, I do hope that they make a regular version for, generations, like a Commander class Power Master Optimus, and sell, Apex Bomber separately as a separate transformer that can combine with, Power Master Prime. That would be great. I know that that's something that would be a hard ask, but I don't necessarily know if that's something that we'll see in the future. And so with that, I do think it looks cool. I just think it looks great. Looks very, very cool. Curious as to where they're going to go with the MPG line moving forward, but the fact that they're going with an Optimus Prime to close everything out. Now, for those of you who are unaware where Masterpiece started, it all started 20 years ago with MP1, which was the 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. It was the very first time that Hasbro acknowledged collectors. And this was designed to be a collector's item, was MP01, or 20th anniversary Optimus Prime, as it was released in both Japan and the US, and was a collaboration between Takara and Hasbro. And then, of course, the Masterpiece line continued. But it was really in Japan that spearheaded that continuation, because Japan actually cares about its collectors, whereas Hasbro always saw it as a toy brand. And that was kind of the attitude for many years, and which is why it wasn't until really, I think, the War for Cybertron trilogy that older collectors started getting Transformers of figures that they wanted. Which kind of leads to my next point of discussion, and that is John Warden. Now, John Warden had moved on after Kingdom, and he laid the groundwork for Legacy as he moved on to Power Rangers, and continued on with the Power Rangers brand through the whole Lightning collection. And I don't know if you're not a Power Rangers fan, and obviously some of this information is just kind of like it's going to go over your head, but the franchise kind of shifted directions in some ways. I don't necessarily know if everything is responsible for him. However, John Warden is responsible for some pretty cool Transformers figures. He had his hand in making Kingdom Rodimus Prime, as I found out, which to me is like, great. I love that character. I love that toy. I don't particularly care for the Power of the Primes toys that much. In fact, a lot of Power of the Primes is kind of or okay. And like, it was the War for Cybertron where I'm like, finally we're getting Transformers figures of characters that like the way that I would actually want them in my collection in so many ways. But the fact that he's returning makes me wonder what direction they're going with Transformers after Legacy. Now, what we do know is that Mark and Evan and BMAC are still a part of the Transformers brand. So their designs, their ideas, their direction, where they're going to go, at least is going to be part of the Transformers brand for the collectors, the Generations line of toys and studio series in a lot of ways, at least until 2026, right? Because it won't be until then that his hand actually, you start to see what he brings to the table. We also know that he's going to be a managing director as well with G.I. Joe. So it's going to be Transformers and G.I. Joe. So it makes me wonder, maybe we might see a Skybound style Transformer figure coming in the future, which right now Skybound is gearing towards Generation 1, but according to, the people of the comics, they are going to be moving into other, series as the franchise continues on. And let me tell you something. Those comics are very gritty, but the storyline is pretty good for what it is as a brand new series and just starting fresh and what have you. And it's a breath of fresh air to see the heroic Autobots really want to protect this planet and the evil Decepticons actually being evil Decepticons. Like that, and the way that they've portrayed the characters has been really well so far. I know some people don't necessarily like the violence. Some of the lore is a little bit different because they're changing some things, and they're incorporating G.I. Joe, and they're actually doing G.I. Joe a really good service. I've heard some people say the G.I. Joe comics are like, actually getting them into G.I. Joe, which is kind of interesting because some people were never into the G.I. Joe franchise. But I'm actually happy that John Warden is returning to the franchise. I'm just hoping that what is laid in the groundwork in the franchise currently and whatever he brings to the table is done really well. The thing is, though, is that there's a lot of salt from people who just don't like the idea that Transformers has a encapsulated idea of what Transformers is. And, you know, and to me, I mean, of course, I'm an old school G1 guy who loves Beast Wars. So for me, like, that's fundamentally Transformers. But sure, hey, they've made Armada and Cybertron Starscream. They made Armada Megatron and Optimus. They did the HasLab for Omega Prime. And they did a whole bunch of different Transformers from different series throughout Legacy. And I'm very happy for the fans who have enjoyed those toys. A lot of them I personally myself have not collected. And so for me, I look at it as like, hey, it's another opportunity for that character to come to the toy shelf, whether I collect it or not. I was happy with Bulkhead and Knockout, you know, being added to my collection, but I kind of skipped out on some, you know, and that's fine. You could do the same if you like a particular figure and you know that you have, and they come up with a new version of that same character and you like the older version better, then stick with the old one and be happy for the fans who get the new version of that toy. And that's really how we should be approaching Transformers right now as far as Legacy is concerned. And I think Legacy is kind of an all-encompassing term right now because 40 years of this franchise has been around the block. And a lot of people are just like, I'm so tired of this one version of Transformers. Which for a lot of people, a lot of younger fans, they hate people my age. They hate the fact that I'm still in my 40s and still like Transformers. And they want Transformers to themselves, and they want me not around. Well, I'm showing my kid G1 Transformers. We're watching Beast Wars right now. We finished G1. We only saw a couple of episodes of Headmasters, and my daughter was like, can we move on to Beast Wars? And my son loves Beast Wars so far. And, you know, that's the thing, is I can enjoy Transformers with my family. And if I can't enjoy it with my family, then clearly I'm not going to share those parts of the franchise with them. I'm going to share the parts that we can enjoy together because they like to hang out with Daddy. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And they're going to get their own Transformers figures in their own collection. And I'm sure some people who are, have to understand this franchise does have to do something to bring new fans into the franchise, and which is where Earthspark kind of comes in. But some people are not tuning into Earthspark. Understandable. They have their reasons. But I'm hoping as far as toys is concerned, both Transformers and G.I. Joe, with John Warden once again being part of the team, remember it's a team effort, can really move this franchise in good directions, you know, with the team involved. Because Mark and Evan, they're awesome. We know this. And we still want them to be a part of the team because they've been doing some great work. And I'm just as happy to see John Warden return. As far as movies is concerned, what we do know is Transformers 1 will be having, apparently, April 18th will be the poster, or the first trailer will be released for Transformers 1. To my understanding, it is an animated interpretation of the origin of the Transformers for the live-action franchise moving forward. At least as far as I know. I don't know what they're doing with this, what the storyline is concerned. Transformers 1, whether or not it looks like it's going to be Generation 1 styled or not, doesn't make a difference to me. It's just part of the movies. And so, if the movie is good, they're doing a popcorn bucket. And you can kind of see it here. But in the same way they did the Dune bucket. So if those of you who went to go see Dune and bought popcorn, you got a thing for popcorn for Dune. You can do the same thing for Optimus Prime. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Transformers 1 is. I'm really skeptical. I'm not even optimistic anymore about the movies. Like, I'm just more like, I'm cautiously indifferent. And with that said, maybe, just maybe, some people will do something for this 40th anniversary and take the time to go and see the 40th anniversary screening for the original G1 cartoon. So what they are going to do, May 15th, 18th, and 19th, so Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, looks like Australia will have it too. Looks like the UK and Mexico and some territories in Europe, some places, will have a special screening of the first 4 episodes of the cartoon. Now, episode 1 is going to be aired, and they're going to do it this way, is they're going to use this as the poster, which is really cool. They have some of the original cast involved. They have Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, and Greg Berger, in addition to Frank Totoro for Starscream, and they're going to be looking at the script of the original G1 cartoon with the special border and going back and forth as a script reading for episode 1. And they're going to air the other 3 episodes, More Than Meets the Eye Part 2, Part 3, and Transport to Oblivion. And they're also apparently going to do a special screening of, a sneak preview trailer, I guess, for Earthspark. But they bring in Dan Gilvezan. Looks like they bring in, Michael Bell is there. Cool. And I think that's, Paul Eiding. Paul Eiding is there. So it's really cool to actually see it done this way, to get the original cartoon aired for audiences to be able to celebrate the 40th anniversary. And, for all of us who have been Transformers fans from the beginning and are going to continue to be Transformers until we're old and gray, and some of you who have came into the franchise at different points over the years, let's celebrate Transformers together by going and seeing this on the big screen. It's the original cartoon as it was, originally broadcast, at least as far as I know. Hopefully they master it well, and we get a special treat with some of the voice actors coming back together. I mean, how great is that? We don't have Chris Latta, but Frank Totoro does a pretty good Starscream. And, having them with the toys in front of them, it's going to be a treat. I know some people are going to have their ups and downs about certain things, but I think it's just cool to find a way to celebrate Transformers on the big screen with, you can bring your kids to this, and share it as Transformers fans together as a family. And which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find a way to make sure that I can go with my wife and my kids, and we're going to go see the original Transformers as it aired, the first 4 episodes. And, my kids love Beast Wars just as much, and they can love G1 as well. And, you guys know, I had my kids watch the 1986 movie, for the first time, like the first time that they've seen it was the day after Christmas. So it was a treat, I think, at least as far as that is concerned. And now my kids have seen that movie 3 times. So, and that's how Transformers is going to keep on continuing, going on for another 40 years. We share the franchise's roots. Sure, we can move on to different, series and franchises and stuff like that nature. But we can at least see how this franchise has, right where it began from its beginning, and see it like this is pretty cool. And with that said, I want to know what you guys think about this Transformers news. Are you excited that John Warden is returning? What do you think of the, MPG line taking over from the Masterpiece line? And how do you think that franchise is going to go? And will you go see this, special screening of the original G1 cartoon on the big screen? Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers news, retrospectives, and more coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.